Hi guys, President Bola Tinubu seems to have had and penetrated his way in Niger Delta and River State as people that seems to be supporting suspected governor now begins to
Making
withdraw
peace
their
to
support.
get
Please listen
sacrifices
to
and
this
people from
popular activist. Thank you.
You can observe, Same has been very quiet, and he has been meeting with people, meeting with the president and others to ensure that the peace returns to the state. And that we encourage him to do, so long as he's doing it within the confine of the law and in the interest of Rivers people. On the other hand, the Wike camp is not talking peace. They are always talking tough. They are always behaving as if they have conquered. We can't get peace in that way. If we want peace, Wike himself, as a former governor, who is a leader of a state, should be able to embrace peace by talking to all the opinions, by coming out to reach out everybody that he wants peace. The problem in River State is not only Wike and Sim. It's the soul of River State. And so every River son and daughter is involved. So if you want to make peace, the peace must be encompassive. It must get to everybody, must be involved in the peace process. For Sim, honestly speaking, he has been trying to get this peace. But because Wike felt he has the federal mind at his corner, at his hand, so he can decide to do whatever he likes and say whatever he likes, disrespect people and cause all the confusion. The state of emergency declared in River State, some persons take it as if it's their right. But they have made Mr. President to violate the Constitution. And they are saying nobody should talk again, otherwise he will not come back. When you have already misled Mr. President to go contrary to the provisions of the constitutions. And Mr. President himself would not be comfortable that he has gone contrary to several sections of the constitution. And I think he's trying to retrace his feet to mend the mistakes. The National Assembly, on their part, also knows that they have also gone contrary to the Constitution. And so it's left for them to see how they can work on it, because the Constitution is very clear in section 11(4). It says the National Assembly can make laws in a state where the House of Assembly is not effective for reason of one reason or the other. But that law does not permit them to make law for the removal of the governor or deputy governor. Section 11(4) is very clear. So for them to even approve the emergency rule of Mr. President, that section is enough for them not to. They would have expunged that issue of suspension of governor, deputy governor, and House of Assembly from the Constitution, from the state of emergency declaration, because Section 11 has tied their hand from making laws of removing governor or deputy governor. In addition to that, Section 305 is also very clear as to the condition under which an state of emergency will apply. And none of the conditions is applicable in River State. River State is a very peaceful state. Despite the state of emergency, the governor is a calm person. He had made sure there is no problem in the state. Even the so-called sole administrator that was appointed, an illegal sole administrator was appointed, can attest to the fact that he has nothing to do. And that is why he is doing something ultra-vast. He is dismantling the democratically elected structures and even structures approved by the various House of Assembly, which is contrary to the law, because he has no power whatsoever to dissolve statutory boards. The Constitution does not recognize him at all. Even he has no right to go to Council of State meeting because the Constitution does not recognize him at all. But you are saying that Nigeria should not talk because Mr. President has said so. And I said no. The government of Nigeria derived their powers from the Constitution. And it is very clear in section 14.2, where it is said, it is hereby declared that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom government, through this Constitution, derives all the powers and authority. So in Rivers State, the people of Rivers State, the state government derives their power from the people of Rivers State. That is what our Constitution says in section 14.2. 14.1 is very clear. The Federation of Nigeria shall be a state based on the principle of democracy and social justice. If section 14 says our government shall be based on democracy and social justice, it means dictatorship is ruled out. The Constitution foresaw it and said there should be no dictatorship. The Constitution is also very clear in section 1, supremacy of the Constitution. It says this Constitution is supreme, and whatever that this Constitution says is final. In section 1.2, it says the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall not be governed, nor shall any person or group of persons take control of the government of Nigeria or any part thereof, and accept in accordance with the provision of this Constitution. And so you are taking over a government of a state undemocratically. It's against the Constitution. The Constitution is also very clear. Any law made by even the National Assembly that is inconsistent with the Constitution is to that extent void. Now, National Assembly passed a resolution supporting state of emergency, contrary to the Constitution. So Constitution is the key. And somebody say nobody should talk again because, they want to bring back same. And so we should not talk. If you talk, they will not bring it back. You can't beat a child that has not to cry. The president has offended the people of Rivers State. And so Rivers State must always protest that we are not fairly treated. The Constitution is very clear as to how we should be treated fairly. Every part of the country should be treated fairly. And so if the law is there and we are not obeying the law, then there is a problem. We must talk. So all those people who think nobody should talk, if you talk, same will not come back, they are not fair. The Wike himself has offended Rivers people. Has he apologized to Rivers people? Has he said sorry to Rivers people? If he wants to make peace, is that the way we will make the peace? Coercing Rivers people? Making them to behave like as if we are nobody? Which the Constitution guarantees us that we have the right as citizens of this country to work within the law. So if we are going contrary to the law and say we should not talk, it's not working. Other than that, the Rivers elders are very desirous of making sure that peace returned. And above all, Sim is returned to the office. That is our desire. We had maintained it. We are not fighting because it is Sim. We are fighting for the integrity and survival of Rivers State. Because whatever action you take that affects Rivers persons, affects everybody. As a people of Rivers State, we are not comfortable with what is going on. We are not happy with what is going on. And so peace must return in line with the Constitution. You don't do us a favor by giving us peace. The Constitution guarantees us peace. Guarantees us fair treatment. So that is what we are asking for. Grant us the fair treatment the Constitution has given to us. And we must be governed democratically, not through a military fiat. Dictatorship is not part of democracy. The National Assembly is empowered by law to make laws that will bring peace and stability in the country, in any part of the country. And as it were, there are crises in Rivers State, and they have made mistakes. The president has also made a mistake by going contrary to the constitution. And so it is behold on them to see how they can remedy it. Because the crisis in Rivers State that we're talking about is just between misunderstanding between the former governor and his godson, Sim. And it's expected that two of them can enter the room and resolve this matter as father and son or as friends. But one party is insisting that you must remove a governor elected by Rivers people. You want to remove him by all means. That is where we are. So if they are setting up a committee to reconcile, no problem, provided the reconciliation will take into account that there are Rivers people that are injured. And the reconciliation will be in the best interest of Rivers State and Nigeria, not the best interest of a particular person. If it is the interest of the particular person or either of the persons, then it is not a reconciliation. Then it becomes a graveyard reconciliation that can erupt any time. We want fairness, we want the truth, and we want to treat everybody fairly. So if they are setting up a committee, not a rubber stamp committee to do what the illegality, but a committee that will fairly listen to the crisis and resolve it, we welcome it. But any resolution that is contrary to the well-being of Rivers State will not be accepted.
What do you think of the commando style used to recover official vehicles from the deputy governor?
Like I said, the president has brought in a military rule in Rivers State, contrary to the law of the land. And you have made Rivers State out of the 36 states of the Federation, indirectly asking us to declare for our independence under a military government. But we are not so stupid to go against Nigeria because we believe in Nigeria. We believe in Nigeria as a country and the sovereignty of Nigeria. And we would not go anything contrary to what the law says. The sole administrator, who is an impostor, an illegal authority, is doing whatever he likes. If he can dissolve independent electoral commission and appoint people without due process, if he can appoint local government authorities contrary to the Supreme Court judgment, if he can just spend money, take allocation contrary to the Supreme Court judgment, then it's military style which the president has committed. Mr. President has committed an offense by appointing a sole administrator contrary to the Constitution. It's an impeachable offense. It's an offense against the land, offense against the Constitution. And the Constitution is very clear. You cannot rule Nigeria or any part thereof other than the provision of this Constitution. And so Mr. President has done all this. I think sole administrator should realize that whatever you do, everything that goes up must come down. A time shall come when it will be questioned on which authority was it doing it. Because so far as we are concerned, whatever he's doing, taking over deputy governor's car, destroying, destabilizing the government or destroying the structures, are illegal and they are of no standing under the eyes of the law. They are illegal. The judiciary is not also helping matters. The judiciary is supposed to be the checkmate. But in this context, they are not also following the law. They don't obey the Constitution also. They just do whatever they like. And they are compromised. It's open compromise. It's not only in this political matter, even in other several matters, you can see the judiciary being compromised. We need cleansing. We need to cleanse the judiciary, there's need to cleanse the executive, there's need to cleanse the purge the National Assembly for this country to move forward. The Constitution is very clear about corruption. That we should eradicate corruption. That should be section 102. That we must eradicate corruption. So if we will eradicate corruption, then the executive must take steps. And the leadership of the judiciary must also take steps to comply with the Constitution, where the Constitution says we must ensure that corruption is eradicated in the system. And if we don't do that, then we will tilt towards a dictatorship, a one-party state, a dictatorship that can decide or do whatever they like, contrary to the Constitution. And when that happens, you will expect anarchy. You will expect social disorder. These are the things we must guard against. You see, Nigeria should learn a lesson. We must look at the political history of Nigeria to know how we metamorphose to where we are, and prevent those things that made those early democracy to fail. We must also learn from Ghana how corrupt officials were killed by mutiny, by government to say these people are corrupt, so kill them. And Nigeria, we also witnessed how many years Nigerian politicians are imprisoned in Nigeria. Some 100 years, some 200 years. And most of them died in the process. We are not learning. Politicians are not learning. Politicians are not learning. Because if we are learning from the judiciary to the legislature to the executive, we must seem to be fair and just. But what we are doing is purely illegal. Let's talk peace. Let's work peace. Let's eat peace. Let's be together as one.